I like an organized life. My wife, the opposite of me. Full chaos. If we go on a trip together, if we come home at night, I unpack immediately. She'll unpack like 2 weeks later.
That's great.
I'm like, your suitcase is just sitting there 2 weeks? She's like, yeah, you've known me 30 years. That's how it is. I'm like, cool.
But so it doesn't bother you with her stuff.
No.
It's only with your stuff or stuff that you see.
We have the good fortune of having like separate sinks, like on different sides of the bathroom. My sink, there's like nothing around that sink. Her sink, 4,000 things.
Oh, I have many things.
It's also
within my
different for
sink.
men and women.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I just need to
We have
wash
more
my
product.
face. Correct.
Though that's changing. There's a lot more product for men now.
Yeah, but it's still like nothing.
Yeah, nothing compared.
Face wash, brush your teeth, brush your hair.
We have many
Maybe a
lotions.
little-
You're correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. All different kinds of things.
Yeah.
Many products. Big marketing opportunity, though. Big CPG opportunity in the male space. which-
Listen, look, Dwayne Johnson, Papa Tui. He knows men need their own product.
So, speaking of Dwayne Johnson, there was a post a few years ago that Dwayne put up, and it was a shot of him, Nanachka, who at the time was working on Young Rock,
Yes.
and you. And Rock, oh, there it is. He mentions you guys being on the beach together as
Yes.
kids. Did you know each other? Did your paths cross as kids? Do you remember your paths crossing as kids?
Yeah. So I was born in Las Vegas, moved to Los Angeles, moved to Honolulu, moved back to Las Vegas where I went to high school and went to college. So in Honolulu, his grandmother, as you know, Leah Maivia, would have the wrestling shows there.
Yep, she was the first female promoter that I know of.
First female promoter.
Yeah.
And by the way, I blame you in part. WWE never came to Hawaii.
Well, we did just later, I suppose.
Not in like 1985, 86.
Okay, yeah,
You guys
maybe.
looked down on Hawaii.
I was 8.
Exactly. Oh, look, it's very expensive to do a show there. We haven't done a show there since I've been here. It's very expensive.
But I will tell you the very first time I was in charge of the shows. So Vince tore both of his quads, and that was the night of the Royal Rumble going into the first ever Super Show when we recorded Raw and SmackDown on the same night before we went to an overseas trip, which included a shot in Hawaii.
Amazing.
And then we went to Japan and did Raw and SmackDown from Japan. And just a quick story on that, because I was suddenly responsible
writer.
for all of
Yeah.
the creative content and like rooms of men, who are making a lot of decisions. And I'm on the phone with my dad and I'm like, okay, Vince, this is what we have, because he's Vince in business, dad at home. Here's what we have for the show. I was like very, I knew I had to run through this. And he stopped me. And the only time he's ever said this ever, Steph, I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, okay, so no problem.
Okay.
We'll rely on everybody that you've got here. It's your team, and we're all set. So thank you. That was it.
By the way, how about, I don't know if you've ever seen the clip of Joe Rogan talking about Vince's double quad injury.
No, I haven't.
You got to see it.
Okay.
He says, look at this guy, and they're showing the clip, and he's, walking out
Oh,
doing
yeah.
the Vince
Yeah.
angry
Yeah.
walk.
I remember it.
And he comes to me, he's like, the guy's torn both of his quads, which Triple H tore a quad. Like, so
He tore both quads, but not at the same time. Yeah.
So through him and through being in the business how painful that is. And he's like, he just sits there and goes on with the show. Starts directing people from the floor.
From a seated position.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can't teach that.
No.
Like that sort of toughness and fortitude, it just can't be taught. I do think everyone's born a certain way. And if you're born with a certain skill set, you can hone it. But if you're not born that way, it's tough to ever develop that skill set.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, there's an inherent toughness that either exists in some people or it doesn't.
Why do you think that is? You think it's just a genetic thing?
Well, so you talked about a fictional story about someone overcoming. My dad tells the story that he was oftentimes beaten by various boyfriends, etc. That were with his mom. He grew up in a trailer park. And he would always stand up for his mom, and he would take these beatings. And one time he tells the story that he was beaten with a lead pipe and left in a ditch to die. But his mindset was, if he could survive, he won. So just surviving was winning and still is winning for him today. And I don't know how you can ever beat someone at the end of the day if all they need to do is survive to win.
The first time I ever read that, he had done an interview in the late 90s with a publication that had great interviews. And he
Playboy.
talked, yes,
Yeah.
he talked about that. He talked about abuse he had suffered at the hands of one of his parents,
Of
not
his
his
mother.
father. Yes.
Yeah.
To recover, to move on, to go from trailer park to, all of
Billionaire.
the success.
Yeah.
There's not many people
And
who can say
created
that. An empire,
a
a universe.
Yes, absolutely.
Correct. A universe. So all credit to him. I only have admiration for him. I know, as Paul said, Triple H said at his Hall of Fame speech, family's complicated. And, obviously we don't need to get into any of that.
Yeah, we're not going any
No,
deeper
no.
on that, but
But in
yes,
terms of business, that guy's an empire builder.
absolutely he is.
Nothing but
And no one
respect.
can take that away from him.
Nobody.
No matter what, including himself, who is probably his biggest nemesis is himself.
I thought we weren't getting into that.
We're not. It's a
Okay,
setup.
perfect.
But I want to go back to the Rock. So
Yes.
I remember that arena in Hawaii,
Blaisdell Arena, still named the Blaisdell Arena.
and it was very small.
Small.
Yep.
Small. So we
So
would go. So he and I are 2 years apart, and my sister she's about a year and change older than me, so a year younger than him. So we met at the shows. We were kids at the show, and we all loved wrestling. So we'd sit and talk about the show, and he would sort of humbly say, like, that's my grandmother in the ring. And, when you're a little kid, you'd be like, is this kid lying? Like,
Right.
yeah, that's my grandmother too. Like,
Yeah.
And then one time, you saw him get in the ring, and again, when you're on the outside, and I think most media executives and sports executives grow up on the outside looking in and sort of saying, like, I want to be in that guy's spot. Like, how do I get on the field? Or how do I get near the wrestling ring? And I remember sort of seeing that and saying, like, hey, instead of being like paying to come here, I'd like to sort of be involved in this sort of thing. And whether that ended up in the agenting business or the boxing business or the wrestling business, I always wanted to go from the outside to the inside. And I always thought it would be a fun life, challenging professionally, like any other profession is challenging. But I always thought it would be fun, and it is.
What was the most challenging part of managing Manny Pacquiao?
So there were two fighters, Manny Pacquiao and James Lights Out Tony. Okay. James Tony was the greatest defensive fighter that I've ever seen. He would also fluctuate in weight a lot. Manny Pacquiao always stayed on weight, was very disciplined about that. But it was very...
Was that the only thing he was disciplined about?
Before he found God, there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things he was not disciplined about.
No offense.
Look, it was
An
also
incredible fighter,
incredible fighter, incredible guy.
Yes.
But
Politician.
Politician.
Yep.
This was pre-text messaging,
Okay.
and there's no real credit system in the Philippines, so everyone has a prepaid cell phone. You don't have a Verizon plan or whatever it is.
Right.
there.
Right.
So you'd call him. You couldn't get in touch with him. You couldn't text him. So eventually I'd fly from LA to the Philippines, like you try to find him. And, you'd end up in a city called General Santos City. Yeah. See Manny Pacquiao anywhere. And you talk to his guys and, there were people like to protect him. They were, I don't know where he is. And this, that. So finally you'd find him, and it was a lot of fun. But I said to myself, like, I don't know, managing fighters, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So even when I became an agent and I would represent, sports broadcasters who were perceived as difficult, people would say, hey, it's so difficult. And I would say to myself, like, not compared to James Toney and Manny Pacquiao. Like, this is easy. And even WWE as a client, they is that difficult? Is Vince difficult? Like, nope, not compared to these other guys. So
Same hold true for every billionaire you've ever worked with, because you have often mentioned to me how billionaires can have particular eccentricities that the average person wouldn't necessarily have. And how do you work with that? How do you manage that? Still, they don't compare to those two?
They don't compare.
No.
With billionaires, you can say anything you want to them as long as it's in private and it's said respectfully.